Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, sampler review series videos I do for the while. I'll go over there, try out food and drink items, eat stuff and drink stuff. Then, folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. This whole thing was just a tad bit sketch, but we'll get into that. Anyway, folks, super simple format. I'm going to go over there, I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm going to yam around about for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck. And whilst I'm doing all that, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, why I wear super cool shirts? I always like to highlight super cool shirt. Super cool shirt am I wearing today? Boom! It's my Non-Point shirt. Woo! Which, if you're unfamiliar with the band Non-Point, they've actually been around for quite a while. I want to say at least since like maybe the late 90s. I only recently got into them, like literally within the last year. It was one of those things where like they were going to be on a tour that I was going to see, and I was like, well, I might as well check out their stuff before I see them. And the first song that I heard, when I was looking up their stuff, I was like, oh shit, I know this song. Like, I think I remember seeing the music video for this like back when I was like in high school. And as it turned out, I ended up actually really enjoying their stuff. I got to see them perform. They were on tour with Cold Chamber and Mudvayne a few months ago. I did get a couple videos from their performance. Just saying, if you want to check those out. But actually, I'm going to be seeing them again in just a little bit. About 3 hours or so. They're doing a headlining tour with a band called Head PE, who I've also seen and who I also have videos of on this channel. So, I'm super excited for all that. But anyway. What am I trying for you today, folks? Why is it a little bit sketch? What are we doing here? Well, folks, since I have to make my way out into Chicago, I decided to take the opportunity to check out, boom, Chicago Sub, or specifically, as their thing actually says, Chicago Submarine. Yeah, so if you look them up, you gotta look for Chicago Submarine, but their menu says Chicago Sub. It works either way. Reason why it's a little bit sketch, because it's like I get in there, there's no seating. It's just like empty room, and then they've got, the place where the guy makes the food. It is behind bulletproof glass, a cage door, and there's literally a turnstile to go over there and get your food. So it's like, because like I'm lame-ass white guy from the suburbs, But the guy was actually super nice. The other people who were waiting for their food with me were very cool. They enjoyed my Funyun socks, which I have Funyun socks. But it was actually a really nice experience. It's just a little bit weird at first, because I was like, what? But, so what am I trying from Chicago Sub? Well, you better believe it's a sub sandwich. And what with it being a sub sandwich, I have to preface it with three things. Number one, for over a year now, I've been going on sub sandwich adventures, which means I've been going to basically every place that sells sub sandwiches that I can get my hands on, trying them out and reviewing them for you. Where have I been putting them? Well, I have an entire playlist called Subs for Subs. That's the second thing I need to bring up. That is where all of my sub sandwich reviews go. The time I'm doing this, I have close to 100 on there. So if you want sub sandwich reviews, but if that's still not enough sub sandwich goodness for you, all you have to do is wait until Sunday. Why? Because Sunday is SUBday. That is the day when I go over there and I upload my sub sandwich reviews to the YouTubes. Typically, I upload 2 on Sunday. Sometimes more, sometimes less. It depends. But anyway, so let's check out a sub from Chicago Submarine. Now, it comes like this. You get some fries. You also get a drink. I got some root beer, as you do. I would have preferred something besides A&W, but what sub is this? Well, folks, this specifically, if I can get it. Come on. Dip. This is their, and this is a regular size. Boom! This is their turkey sub, which is warm, which I wasn't expecting. I was expecting a cold sub. But mind you, I didn't know what type of sub it was going to be, so I'm not throwing that against them. I just would have figured. I actually want to get a sub called the Challenge sub, but the guy was like, yeah, we're out of hand right now, so. Turkey sub. I like turkey, to an extent. I know me and Mr. Oda Khaled, we have talked about that. He is a bigger fan of turkey than beef. Well, roast beef specifically, but I like roast beef. Turkey! It's very juicy. I like that the bread is toasted. Like, even on the inside, they toasted it. It's like turkey, some mayo, some cheese, some tomato, shredded lettuce. Oh. It's okay. It's okay. I wouldn't say it's anything particularly fantastic, but it's not bad. I did get a little bit concerned when I saw it. He was busting out, like, the processed cheese, which, to be fair, for certain types of cheese is perfectly fine. You know, I like American cheese and stuff. I'm not against the processed cheese. But typically, you know, deli setting, unless it's American, usually you're not using the processed stuff. Definitely heavy on the mayo. And with the warmness of it, gives it kind of an extra tanginess. And honestly, I don't mind this for what it is. Like, it's not a classic turkey sub in the strictest of senses, because, you know, I mean, for one thing, the bread is all toasted and stuff, which is actually nice. Like, again, that's honestly, I think, one of the best things about this sub, is that it's got the toast on the inside and the out. That's a little bit of a game changer right there. I actually think that's something more places should adopt. Gives it a nice texture, and just, you know, bumps up the flavor of the bread. And the bread is actually pretty nice. Like, it's definitely just a bun, though. Like, if it weren't for the fact that it were toasted, it would still, I think it would be okay bread, but, like, again, it's definitely a bun. Here's my biggest point of contention. I'm really not tasting much of the turkey. It's there, and you can kind of taste it after everything else fades away. You know, once the bread is kind of faded out, once the mayo is kind of faded out, all that, then you start getting a little bit of the turkey flavor. And I mean, granted, turkey is not a particularly strong flavored meat, so, but at the same time, if you're using, you know, really proper turkey, it should still be able to shine through just fine. And I think that might be kind of, again, kind of where the area is like, I'm guessing it's probably, you know, more just like standard lunch meat. I mean, it's not, you know what, I mean, like I said, I was a little bit kind of like, about the whole thing when I saw the stuff, the cheese and everything, but like, I mean, you know what, it was okay. Again, I think toasting the bread made all the difference in the world. I think without that, it would have been fairly lackluster, but, you know, it says a lot. It's just a little thing will go over there and go a really long way. The mayo tasted nice. I mean, fundamentally, it was a very basic setup for sub sandwich, but that isn't inherently a bad thing. Some of the best sub sandwiches are ones that are a little bit, you know, more chill and just, you know, a little bit more basic. This wasn't, the best interpretation of the turkey sub, but I didn't mind it by any means. Two questions have to be asked, though. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? I mean, for one thing, I'm not really out this way all that often, so the likelihood that I'm going to come back anytime real soon, pretty unlikely. But even if I were, I think realistically I probably wouldn't. Not that it was bad, but it's just, there's definitely better sub sandwich options available. Especially being in, you know, the Chicagoland area. You know, hell, you got Mr. Submarine, you know, which is, you know, sub chain in Illinois, and I've reviewed some of their stuff. Those are really fucking good, man. You know, definitely a step up from this. But, again, I do want to emphasize this wasn't a bad sub. I think if I lived in the area, I would probably go there occasionally. But since I am further out and I do have better sub options, if I'm recommending it, it's basically the same line of, the same line of thinking. Like, is this going to be like a, and by the way, since this is a Chicago thing, it's going to end up on my Sampler Platter Local Love playlist, as well as my Subs for Subs playlist. But is this a place I'm going to go over there and, like, tell friends and family from out of town to go visit? No. Because, again, it's not bad, but you can definitely get better sub sandwiches with better quality. Although, again, that toasting of the bread, that deserves a serious nod of respect. Like, that's some stuff. Yeah. Just overall, I mean, it was an okay eating experience, but I probably wouldn't come back again. Sorry to Chicago Submarine. You didn't do a bad job. You didn't do a bad job. There's just better sub options out there available for me. Anyway, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of the week, monumental rest of the month, stupendous rest of your folks. You go over there, have yourselves a truly sub-sandwich-tastic rest of your life, I guess, man. Oh, it's like, and then on top of that, I'm in a parking area that I don't think is actually a parking area, but there was nobody here, and nobody has told me to move yet. So, like, if you see my head kind of moving around a little bit, it's like I'm waiting for somebody to show up and be like, get the fuck off my lot. Anyway, final 2 things before I get out of here. Number 1, try to bring some positivity in your world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do all the time, I know I can't do all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me, I know it, I live it, I'm out there with you in it. Folks, life can be stressful and frustrating and bullshit, and when it is, take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, maybe there's a local sub spot around you, that, you're just like, well, maybe. Go ahead and give it a shot. And if you go over there and you enter in and there's a bunch of bulletproof glass and a turnstile and stuff, don't immediately pass judgment. Okay? Just, I mean, if you genuinely feel like there's a problem, eat the fuck out of there. But, again, hey, maybe it'll end up being a really great experience for you. Or in my case, it'll be an okay experience. All right. Bye.